Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm going to be going over 10 things that I wish we could buy in Grand Theft Auto Online that we cannot currently buy and have never really been able to buy at any point throughout this game's lifespan. There's a lot of cool things in GTA Online, and comment some other things that you'd like to see and maybe I'll make a part 2 to this video. Leave a like if you enjoy, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you're new. Going for 300k this year and I need your help to get there. Let's go ahead and get started with number 10. At number 10 we have the Police Buffalo. This is something that I really wish we could have in GTA Online and be able to purchase, and seeing as how we have access to a plethora of fully functional police cars in Grand Theft Auto Online now, I think that we should definitely have access to the Police Buffalo or potentially the FIB Undercover Buffalo. Maybe get access to the undercover one and be able to put a livery option on it to get the regular Police Buffalo. That would be pretty cool. Now this seems like a pretty great oversight by ROCKSTAR to not include these vehicles as purchasable ones in amongst all of the other police variants that we've gotten recently. But I'd almost be willing to bet that in the future these will become available for purchase. However, the player base does want that, and if they stick to their previous patterns, ROCKSTAR will probably never do this. But I must say I would really like to see the Police Buffalo be available, the FIB Buffalo. Either one of them would be cool, but having the option to make it one or the other would be super sweet. Definitely want to see this. I hope that we get this sometime soon. Next up we have this really cool mansion in the lower section of the Rockford Hills. Now there are many mansions that I would love to be able to purchase in Grand Theft Auto Online. There's about 10 that I can think of off the top of my head right now. However, this particular mansion really speaks to me for some reason. I think it's just simply the architecture and the general look of the house itself, but also the grounds that the house kind of sits on are very nice too. It's got a very large driveway, it's got 2 gates that open up as you approach them, and it's got a super nice backyard. Now the pool is empty, which is kind of odd to me, but if it was filled up, I would totally want to buy this house. I mean, regardless of if the pool is full, I would still buy it. But I just think that it's such a cool house. I think you could have some really nice car meets here. I think you could have a lot of other players over to your house and shit like that. And I would be happy to pay $10 million for this house easily. I think it's just so cool. I'd love to have more properties like this in GTA Online. It kind of doesn't really even make sense to me that we're not able to purchase mansions yet. I feel like this is another big oversight by ROCKSTAR. I'm sure they have their reasoning for it, but it does seem like a bit of a misstep by them to not allow us to purchase mansions in this game where we can purchase almost anything. But this house is super sick. I really want to be able to buy this one. Hopefully you guys like it too. Let me know of other houses that you guys like in GTA Online, and maybe I'll include them in the next rendition of this video if I do decide to make one. At number 8, we got the cargo plane. Now, this one is nearly unbelievable to me. How do we not have access to purchasing this pre-existing asset that's been in GTA Online for the entire duration of the game? It's been in the files, you know, before Online even released, and we can't buy this, but we can buy the Bombushka, which they had to go and make and decide to put into the game, but we can't purchase the cargo plane. The cargo plane is super iconic, and I think it makes a lot of sense to be able to buy it. You can use it in some of the DAX first dose missions or last dose missions. I can't really remember which of them the cargo plane is featured in, but there's also the missions in story mode where the cargo plane is featured. The only reason for not being able to buy it, I think though, is that cars can be loaded into it, which I could see getting a little bit glitchy. However, glitchy is also kind of fun, and I really think they need to release this plane to us. Now, the other only thing I can think of is that the plane is simply so massive that where would you even really take it off from? Yes, it fits at the airport, but that's the only place it fits. Plus, I also do think that if people did crash this plane, for example, it would cause a bit of an issue for the servers. So maybe that's another reason that the cargo plane doesn't exist in GTA Online, or at least why we cannot purchase it. Now, next up, I have one that's a little bit out there, and I would like to be able to buy gas stations. I would love to be able to own some form of legitimate business in GTA Online. And I know this is generally a game about crime, but as it's progressed, I think that we have been able to venture into some semi-legitimate businesses over the years, and gas stations seem like a logical starting point for getting into some more enjoyable legal endeavors in GTA Online, and this is of course simply because of how much of a role cars play in GTA Online. Now, I'm not suggesting that players should have to fill up their cars necessarily, but all the NPCs that you see at gas stations are obviously filling up their cars with gas, at least seemingly. Now just imagine if you could invest into owning one of these businesses, maybe multiple of these businesses, and get a percentage of the money from each one that they generate per day. Hell, even if you can only own a single one, it would still be really awesome to be able to do this and make some money off of it in GTA Online. I think this is a very logical business that we should have access to, whether it's just a front for an illegal business or whether it's just a completely legitimate business. I think that we should be able to do this, and I really hope that if we don't get this in GTA 5, that we will hopefully get it in GTA 6. Next up, I would like to see tow trucks be purchasable in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, tow trucks actually existed in GTA Online upon the initial release of the game. However, due to the instability that could be generated by attaching multiple tow trucks to each other, Rockstar decided to remove them from the game entirely. Now, all the way up until the Chop Shop DLC was released, there have not been tow trucks in GTA Online, and even with the tow truck that was added within the Chop Shop, you can't just take it out and go and drive it. It has to be exclusively for missions, and you can't pick up any vehicles that are not the mission target vehicles, which does kind of suck. Now, I'm not necessarily asking for the exact same tow trucks that used to be in GTA Online to come back into the game. I am just asking for maybe giving us a flatbed tow truck that we can simply use to move other vehicles around in the game. There's also the mission where there's the tow truck. Now, whether this is just a single vehicle flatbed or maybe multiple vehicles on a flatbed truck, I think that this is a very logical step for Rockstar to take for a new vehicle to be added into GTA Online. Of course, we do have the Vapid Slam Truck, I think it's called, that you can like put a vehicle on the back of it, but it just slides right back off as soon as you start driving it, which is really lame. I really would like to see them fix that thing, but also give us access to flatbed trucks that we can load vehicles up onto and drive around with that to, move vehicles around quickly or slowly, potentially, because it is a tow truck, of course. Now, I do think that this would be relatively easy to do, and I know the player base would love it, so I think Rockstar should definitely consider doing this. Next up at number 5, we have the Police Granger, or the Sheriff SUV. Now, earlier in this list, I did mention the Buffalo police car, which is something that I do desperately want to see added into GTA Online. However, I would like to see the Sheriff Granger get added in even more so than the Buffalo police car. Now, I know that on the newest generation of GTA Online, the Declasse Park Ranger is available, and it is of course a Granger as well. Now, if they were to just simply give us the option to have that same Park Ranger on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 and be purchasable, but also give a secondary livery option, that would be the Sandy Shores Sheriff SUV livery, that would be good enough for me, and that's literally all they need to do. I just think that the Police Granger is such an awesome vehicle, and we don't really have that many off-road capable police cars in GTA Online, so I would definitely like to see another one, and I think that the Police Granger makes a good case for why it should be added into the game. Next up at number 4, we have the Sky Crane helicopter, or the Skylift as it's known in GTA Online. I think that the Skylift is a pretty awesome vehicle, and it would serve as an excellent alternative to the iconic Cargo Bob helicopter if you could use it to pick up other objects like vehicles, for example. Now, it is much bigger and seems to be able to carry heavy objects a lot more easily. Now, it is also quite a bit bigger and quite a bit slower, at least it does feel that way. Now, it is such a cool vehicle though, and I think it really does deserve to be ownable in GTA Online. It seems like such a shame to relegate it to only be usable in certain hangar like sale missions or supply missions. It's such a shame because it is so cool, so different, so unique. I just think that they should add this to be purchasable and give it an option kind of similar to the Cargo Bob where you can pick up other vehicles. I think this would be a very ideal vehicle to get into GTA Online. I think it could definitely help out with doing some missions like the ammunition delivery from the bunker, for example, but being able to get there a little bit easier, or even the missions where you have to deliver the nightclub hauler custom out to the barge. Being able to fly a helicopter that is a little bit more powerful than a Cargo Bob would definitely be helpful. And number 3, I would like to see restaurants. Now, this is similar to what we talked about earlier with the gas stations, and I think that being able to own a restaurant would be an awesome feature to have in Grand Theft Auto Online to serve as another legitimate business, even if, again, it's a front for something illegal like the already existing nightclub. I think that owning a restaurant and doing occasional missions for it, like kicking out unruly customers, or maybe perhaps getting groceries or supplies to keep the business running, would be an awesome touch. There's also things similar to this in story mode already, like obviously the movie theaters that you can own, but also places like Hookies in Paleto Bay, as well as the restaurant that was made famous by the Fast and Furious movies that goes along the left-hand side of the map, just above Fort Zancudo. I think that owning a restaurant would be sweet. I would love to see some more legitimate businesses, and a restaurant definitely seems like a pretty logical next business. Maybe after we get gas stations, potentially. If it doesn't make it into GTA 5, I certainly hope this is a thing in GTA 6. Next up at number 2, Devin Weston's mansion. I think that it would make sense canonically to be able to purchase Devin Weston's mansion, given how the GTA 5 story mode pans out. Now, I will just say I'm not 100% certain of this, and if you know lots about the story of GTA 5, I would actually be curious to know your take on this and if you think it would make sense in canon. Now, regardless of if it would make sense, I would still want to buy it, even if it would cause the story to not line up or not make sense in some weird way. It is such a cool house, and it really reminds me of Tony Stark's house from the first couple of Iron Man movies. It's situated right on the side of a mountain. It has a great view with multiple pools and water features, excellent landscaping, and a very cool design for the house itself. I think this would be so awesome to be able to purchase, and I would happily pay between 10, 20, 25 million dollars if they were to just simply add this into the game as a purchasable property. And I hope to God that before GTA 5 goes on to GTA 6, that we are able to actually do this. And at number 1, something that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but we have the aircraft carrier. I would buy the aircraft carrier even if it did literally nothing. However, I think making it into some sort of secondary hangar or aircraft storage would be really, really awesome to see, and just being able to purchase this thing in the first place would be so damn cool. Now, you could also maybe dedicate a certain portion of its interior to being an offshore garage, and that would be really awesome. Maybe you can just store some cars off of the shore of GTA 5's map on the aircraft carrier, and then you can sub them out when you want to using a cargo bob or something like that. I think that that would be really, really cool. Now, even without that stuff, just to be able to travel to it anytime that you wanted to, maybe host car meets on it by bringing the cars over with cargo bobs, using it to hang out with friends or whatever you want to do, I think that that would be awesome. Now, it would be really, really cool to be able to sail it like we can do with the Kasatka submarine, but I think that it is just simply too big for that. I can't really imagine GTA 5's engine being too keen on letting players move one of these around in a session, especially if there were multiple of them, even up to 30. I think things would get a little bit chaotic. However, I still want to see it, and I really hope that one day Rockstar actually lets us purchase the aircraft carrier. I just think that that would be so awesome if they could do that. It'll probably never happen, I'm almost 100% sure of it, but it certainly would be very cool. So there you have it, guys. Those are my picks for 10 things that I wish that we could buy in GTA Online. Let me know what you guys think of my list in the comment section down below. Do you think there's anything that I snubbed on this list? Do you think that my list is valid? Or would you sub some things out? And let me know what you would sub out instead of something that I picked. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Consider subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. Again, I'm going for 300k this year and I need your help to get there. So if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. Comment a 7 if you made it to the end of the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.